tapped in to Viral Volley Podcast. Now here's your host, Rob the Sparrow, or the Rob on the mic.
Hey, good day, everyone. And this could be College Volleyball Weekly, but it's not. Instead, it's a Viral Volley Podcast, names in the game, because what usually happens is we get these great volleyball stars playing in the NCAA game, particularly in beach, in women's or in men's, and then they move on. And that's why I have Viral Volley Podcast, names in the game. And with me is a very familiar face whom I met for the first time in 2022, rocking the LMU Lions uniform, and that's Avery Poppinga, which is truly a great honor to have you on finally after all these years. I know you're not ghosting me. I just know you're super busy. So Avery, so great to have you on.
Yeah, thank you. This feels like home. I told you earlier, but this feels safe. I feel like I can speak my mind, and I'm just like having a conversation with you. So this feels like I'm back in LMU repping my college gear. So this is fun.
Well, it's great that we get to start there because chronologically, I'd like to start like where I met you, but you have obviously in the volleyball world, it almost seems incestuous because if you know one person, that person knows about 5 other people and so on and so on. But it's such a small and great community. But I wanted to start with your volleyball beginnings, particularly because you have 2 parents, you got a sister, all D1 volleyball players. How did you get started?
Oh man, I started playing ever since I saw my parents playing on the beach. I like have this vivid memory of them playing at Outrigger. I grew up in Hawaii, so seeing them kind of play against each other one-on-one at Outrigger ever since I was like 5 years old, I knew I always wanted to play. So that's kind of like where it all began. I just was watching my parents play. My mom was still competing when she had me. So
Wow.
I've just grown up around volleyball. Yeah.
Well, both your parents played at University of Hawaii. They graduated right around the same year, same age. And
Mhm.
from
Yep.
there, the romance started and led to the family, of course, for obvious
Yep.
reasons.
Yep. 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 They're
Now,
they're like the
yeah,
main stars in Hawaii. I'm nobody.
well, if anyone follows Hawaii volleyball, if you're on the team, you are a rock star.
Oh yeah.
Everyone follows you in the streets, and I'm sure that you guys have gotten hey, you're so and so's. Can we get your autograph, selfies, and all that when
Oh
you're in
yeah.
Hawaii?
Oh yeah. I'm just the daughter. They're like, "Oh, you're Carrie's kid. You're Brian's kid." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me."
Well, you also have a sister who is a couple inches taller, and you played at Santa Clara. A little bit of beach with her and indoor as well.
Just indoor. She wanted to play beach. I don't know if she would have been any good at beach. So sorry, Lexi. But yeah, she played indoor. She was a middle at Santa Clara, and she played all 4 years, and then had to medically retire her last year because she had a bunch of knee injuries. But yeah, we're all volleyball people, and she got the height. I got all of like the ailments. I have like all of the injuries other than the knee stuff, knock on wood. But yeah, she definitely got the height part.
Right. Well, it's such a great volleyball family. Just following along, if you look at any of the archives and search your family name, they're definitely well known. And obviously, you had the skills good enough to play out at Florida State University, where you started your beach career. And obviously, being from Texas, well, Hawaii, Texas, going from coast to coast, how did you end up going to Florida State?
Um, I honestly kind of just sent a Hail Mary. I was so late in the process of recruiting. I wanted to play indoor all of my life. And then my junior year of high school, I was just kind of done with indoor and fell in love with beach and didn't even know that there were scholarships for beach volleyball. So I shot my shot to every single college you can possibly think of that had a beach program. And Brooke Niles saw footage of me playing indoor volleyball, and that was enough to have her want me join the team. So that was kind of I don't want to say it was my last resort because it was such a cool experience. I love the school. I love everything about it. But I was it was like the one school that did want me.
Which is actually, it says a lot to Brooke's eye catching your talent because, seeing you, I didn't see you during your indoor career, but seeing you on the beach, you're a natural talent. And, obviously Brooke has just received her 300th career win this last season. And it was amazing, but she definitely finds talent in some places. And if she got you early on, it says a lot of like recognizing talent in collegiate beach, especially now, because they're coming from all over the States.
Oh man, I don't know if she saw talent. I think she saw potential because I was a work in progress. She got me into shape, and as soon as I was in beach volleyball shape, it was kind of like game over. I'm like, okay, I can do this, but it was rough. It was rough going from indoor to beach.
Well, I had a feeling that that progression of getting better came pretty quickly, but you actually had a little, I don't want to say a stumble, so to speak, but I felt like we had to backpedal and then go forward, especially because of things that you had gone through medically. You actually alluded to it earlier about I got all the injuries and your sister got the height. But you had some pretty unique situations affecting you growing up and playing the sport that resulted in a lot of pain for you. And I mean by physical pain. So I was wondering if you could share about that because it is a pretty incredible story that you're able to be as successful as you are as an athlete, but also go through these struggles physically.
Yeah, and that's honestly something I need to remind myself all the time because I'm extremely hard on myself. But when I was 13, so I was in eighth grade, I had to get scoliosis surgery. So I have two rods on both sides of my spine. So I'm basically just perfectly straight for the rest of my life.
Hmm.
But that limited a lot of my flexibility and mobility in beach volleyball and just volleyball in general. So I kind of had to relearn the game as a younger athlete. And my doctor told me that I wasn't going to be able to play at the level that I wanted to ever again, which was professionally. And at the time, I wanted to play Division I college volleyball. So
Hmm.
that was kind of taken away from me at a super young age. But both my parents were amazing coaches to me and instilled so much confidence that, like, you know what, you can try to keep playing, like, just keep working hard and we'll see what happens. But, um, like, just roll with the punches, see what happens. You're going to play different from everybody else, train different from everybody else. And that's kind of what I had to do. But once I got that scholarship from Florida State, I was like, I did it. And then here I am still competing on the Pro Tour, which is pretty awesome.
Well, it's funny hearing you say that you have to train differently, you have to play differently, but from an outsider in my eye test, you're one of the most naturally gifted athletes that I've seen on the beach, and that's what stuck out the most when I saw you at the WCC championships. Well, actually, going into the postseason from LMU when you after you transferred, just super quick, super athletic, great reaction time, big swing. I mean, all the stuff that John Mayer was happy to have playing at his two spot.
He definitely gave me a lot of confidence as a player. I don't think I've ever had so much confidence than I did that year, which is, I want to give him credit because he's probably the reason why I kept playing professional beach volleyball and just seeing how well I could do on the pro tour and just really give myself that shot. So I owe it to him, honestly, for everything, just where I am now. So thanks, John, if you're watching.
Great shout out. Now he has your Venmo account. He can pay you that for the
Yeah,
plug online there.
yeah, yeah.
Well, let's go. You obviously transferred from Florida State to LMU, and at the time, that was the ascension of the Lion program because I believe they had the highest finish when you were there and went to the NCAA Gulf Shores National Championship. Uh, LMU finished number 4 in the nation, which at the time was the highest. Obviously, you guys have been done up here in the last few years, but there's an amazing team. You were playing with Selena Marolf at your ones. I believe it was Reiko Orsi Toth and Megan Rice, and you had a deep lineup. But the fact that you're playing the twos speaks to the talent that you developed from your freshman year at Florida State. And you give credit to John, but I mean, you had a natural ability to begin with.
Yeah, Brooke definitely. I really she got me in shape, and I think John really turned me into like technically a really good beach player. I think I got like the work ethic, the drive, the just overall like physical capability to be a beach volleyball player from Brooke, and then that carried itself into John where he kind of turned me into be like this mentally zen kumbaya player and being able to just problem solve on the spot. So he taught me to just be a more well-rounded beach player. And Brooke definitely got like the physical side of me.
Yeah, quite the dichotomy of coaches. Brooke Niles is a player I remember being this gritty, athletic banger, although she's a little
Oh my gosh.
undersized. And then you have John Mayer, who is like you. I think you said it so apropos. He's so zen.
So zen, kumbaya. Yeah.
Well, I mean, two powerhouse programs that you're connected with, Florida State and LMU, which have been in the at Gulf Shores probably since the inception of the tournament in 2015, and placing as high as fourth. And last year, I mentioned that they were the national runner-up in 2025, and you were part of developing that program. Uh, I look at the girls that are in those programs; they're all extremely talented, and you were a
Mhm.
part of that, the roots in developing both those programs.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I haven't even thought about it like that, honestly. So thinking back, it's crazy. It's really cool.
Well, you developed a lot of connections from playing NCAA Beach, which I think is so. I mean, we talk about it being incestuous in such a small world, but look at your former teammates, your FSU teammates of Madison Fitzpatrick, who's now a sports commentator on a
Yep.
lot of the big leagues. Then you have the Chacon sisters, first Morgan on that FSU team, and now fellow. You've got
Fellow colleague, business partner, best friend, teammate, all
Alaina.
the things. She was my partner for pretty much a whole summer when she was out here in California. We were just kind of like her partner was elsewhere. I was floating around with different partnerships, but we were partners and then business partners at the same time at one point, and we weren't sick of each other. So I think
And
that speaks a lot to our relationship.
well, you had overlap time with Morgan. I knew that, but did you have overlap time with Alaina?
Yeah, me and Alaina were the same year.
And now, of course, you're now the OnlyFans TV co-stars along with Falyn, Fonoimoana, and Hagen Smith, which we'll get into a little bit later here in our
Yep.
interview.
Yep.
Um, but now that I noticed in that time frame, you actually had a second back surgery
I did.
for,
Yes.
I believe it was a ruptured disc
Yep. So
or
my
herniated disc.
herniated disc. So my what was it? It was my junior year of college at FSU, right before COVID hit. Um, I got so kind of unfortunately or fortunately, it was pretty great timing because our season got canceled anyway. So I was like, oh, okay, I have a whole year to just basically get myself better. But um I was pretty much training and lifting like everyone else. I was putting a bar on my back. I shouldn't have been doing that in general,
Mhm,
but I was naive. I wanted to make everyone happy. I didn't want to train differently from anybody else. Um, so I think I got it mainly just from like the strength training that we were doing at FSU, uh,
mhm,
mixed with practicing and then also just heavy impact stuff, especially in the gym. So I got that right before COVID and kind of went through another year of just trying to get better. But in my eyes, it didn't seem like a big deal at all. Like I had gone through
mhm,
probably the worst surgery you can possibly think of when I was younger. So
mhm.
it was this was like a breeze for me. I knew I was gonna bounce back.
Wow. A
Yeah.
back surgery, and you're like, oh, I'll be back. I'm like, oh,
I'll be
my
back.
back surgery, I'm retired. So that's why. So I looked at your history after meeting you and seeing you play at LMU, and it was standout play without a doubt. I believe you're second team All American or definitely first team All WCC, and in the talent pool that you were playing with their teammates, you stuck out. Um, Again, athletic athlete, great play, great wins too with some of the top pairs in the nation. But that brings you to playing pro after college. But what's it been like playing professionally now in the United States and doing some traveling with some beach pro tour events?
It has its highs and lows. I think it's really cool being able to create my own schedule and my own training, find my own coaches, but at the same time, I am doing all of that myself. So it's just it's just different not having like this structured every day, like you know what you're going to get every single day in college.
Hmm.
Instead, now it's kind of everything is done yourself. You can pick and choose what tournaments you want to do. Um, but it also is strategy, right? Like if you want to do world tour stuff, then I have to spread out which events I'm going to do for that while also trying to maintain my points for the AVP. So that part I think is a little bit of a struggle, and especially the partnership stuff, just coming
Hmm.
into it out of college, having no idea who would even want to play with me, who's even seen me play, stuff like
Hmm.
that. Like, do I just stick with my old partners or do I try to go for someone older, um, that's more experienced in the AVP, or what do I do here? So I kind of did all the above. Like I played with Katie Spieler, who had
Hmm.
played on the AVP tour for quite some time, who was an amazing first partner that I probably could have ever asked for. Such a leader, incredible.
Hmm.
Um, and then I played with Brooke Van Sickle, who
Uh-huh.
was super fun. Her dad was my dad's teammate back at UH. So that was
Wow.
kind of a full circle moment. And me and her got along just like my parents or my dad did with her dad. So she's
Hmm.
still my best friend. And now she's playing indoor. But when she left, I'm like, oh, dang it. So she's gone too. And then I had a really amazing year with Madison Shields
Hmm.
on the World Tour and the AVP Tour. So that was probably kind of when I started taking off with her. And now I'm just kind of dabbling into a little bit more like defender, split blocking, blocking, just trying to figure out what I want to do and what I see for myself long term in the sport. So
Hmm.
kind of putting points aside and playing with people that I really want to mesh with and grow something with, but while still really honing in on myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're hoping to see some results with the season just starting. It last weekend was the AVP Huntington Beach Open. Was hoping to catch you. Wasn't there till Saturday, so I didn't get to, but I would have loved to have seen you play.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, at least you know what, we lost to the girls that made it in, and they had a pretty good run in the main draw. So, you know what, kudos to them. It's okay.
mhm. Well, with that, that brings us to where we're at now, and I really wanted to focus on because you've actually shown up on a lot of different news stories I've been catching in social media posts, and
Yes.
it's in regards to your partnership with OnlyFans TV or OFTV, and a special project you're doing called Perfect Set. So I wanted to start off with how did you get connected with OnlyFans and OFTV and this show?
So honestly, it's such a long story, but it all kind of started when we were pitched the idea that OnlyFans was starting to sponsor athletes, and it had only been around for, I want to say, 2 years at the time. So this was
Hmm.
extremely new. Um, and Alaina and I were talking about it a bunch, and we were just kind of like, what are we doing? We should do it. Like,
Hmm.
it's kind of a no-brainer. I feel like this could be a really cool, um, obviously we would be kind of like the catalyst for beach volleyball players. No one would do this before, but we saw it as just an extremely amazing opportunity and so much room for growth for OnlyFans to kind of branch out into this other sphere. So it's kind of like
Hmm.
this more safe for work for athletes and giving us a platform to showcase our sport in a different way, because they do showcase a lot of niche sports like skateboarding, um, what else? Cliff diving, a lot of BMX. So kind of like the
Hmm.
X Games, like Red
Right.
Bull type of athlete. Um, and we kind of fit in that mold pretty well since there's not a whole lot of coverage on our sport for it being one of the most watched sports in the Olympics. So we just wanted to get more exposure with our sports while also being able to afford everything and afford the lifestyle, because it's pretty rough out
Hmm.
here as a beach volleyball player, as a lot of us may know. Um,
Hmm.
Especially trying to pay for your own travel to go overseas and play on the world tour. So that's kind of how we all got started, is luckily they wanted us as athletes and we gave them the green light. We're like, okay, sure.
Hmm.
Um, So that's kind of how it all came about. And with the show, with I'll go back a little bit, but within our initiatives for an OnlyFans athlete, we have to do a certain amount of Instagram posts, a certain amount of reels, kind of like those couple things on the
Hmm.
social media side. But at the same time, OnlyFans has their OFTV platform, which doubles as like a YouTube platform for
Hmm.
creators, athletes, whoever to post what post what they're doing. So
Right.
what I'm doing on my page is it could be like teaching volleyball videos, or I'm doing a vlog of 6 man, just kind of showing
Hmm.
the little bits and pieces of my life. I did like a day in the life as a pro athlete, so kind of like my step-by-step
Hmm.
routine as an athlete on the AVP tour. So that's also included in there. Um,
Hmm.
and we were just posting a lot on our OFTVs and getting more exposure within OnlyFans. So I think that kind of led them into be like, okay, we like what we're seeing. We love the sport. It's
Hmm.
pretty fun. And I think our sport is anyone can play. You see people on the beach all the time just playing pickup. I think
Hmm.
it's like a very unserious, fun, easy pickup game for people to just play. So I think they recognize that as well and
Hmm.
recruited other creators to join in. And yeah, I think the rest is history. Then got us coaches to be these teachers for the players. And yeah, here we are
Yep.
showcasing our sport to a larger audience.
Well, it's interesting because, I'd mentioned that a few different media outlets had picked up your story about how professional volleyball players in the United States basically have to subsidize a lot of what they're doing to travel, to play, and just live a decent life while having another career potentially if they don't have a source of income.
Right.
Like Newsmax, Yahoo Sports, New York Post, and AOL.com are the ones I saw. But what makes the US different from other countries is the volleyball federations actually pay for their athletes and the coaching staff as well as medical treatments and so forth. Whereas the United States, only the top two, I believe, on both
Mhm.
sides um, get covered. So you have to get creative with how do you pay for your lifestyle and your career. So it's
Right.
such a great opportunity. But OnlyFans, uh, by them going this route, I think it's such a great we'll say platform for you to show what happens in the day in the life, as you were saying, from the training aspect. But what other people don't see is what it takes to be an athlete. I mean, we have some of the best, we'll say, physically built athletes and athletically gifted people in the sport. That's what makes the sport so fun. Like
Oh,
yourself, Alaina, Hagen Smith, and Falyn. They've been big names in the game. Like you, Hagen, son of the volleyball legend St. John Smith, and people don't connect that, which is mind blowing.
right. Right.
So, but I
Yeah.
mean, also, but with what you're doing, it definitely needs to be highlighted because, um, as developed as a player, you're offering in this, we'll say, competition. The winning team could win $50,000 per person. How is that going to work? Like, how's the whole situation going to work when you start training your teams? You guys going to go to a tournament against each other and the most points wins head to head, or how's this all going to be? Or are you not allowed to share that quite yet?
I'm not allowed. I don't want to spoil
Oh,
any of it, but yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but there was two winners.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that split the $50,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And basically, in Perfect Set, they are having some other influencers that you recruited from. Is that correct?
Yes, so they recruited the other contestants and we were the coaches for our groups. So there was four different groups, so I was coaching four other people. Um three other people. And so Elena was coaching three other people, Hagen's coaching three other people, Fallon's coaching three other people, and we're all kind of competing against each other.
Hmm.
So that's kind of like the breakdown of it. But my whole goal with the show and everything was just to at least convert one of my athletes to just keep playing. I'm not
Hmm.
turning them into like a professional player by any means, but
Hmm.
just giving them like another hobby to do if they want to play pickup with their friends. Um, but I think that was kind of my whole goal is just to make sure that they're having fun, they enjoyed it. Obviously there's 50K on the line, so there's a lot of drama.
Yeah.
But I do think that at the end of the day, everyone loved it, loved the sport, and everyone was really excited to keep playing. They wanted more volleyball. So
Well, without a doubt, you're always the fun one to play with, Avery.
I like to think so. I like to think so. I bring the vibes.
Well, I saw one of your Instagram posts from earlier, I think maybe just within the last few days of, I don't know if you coached her, and I'm not going to say anything if you either way, but it's kind of like a preview to the show, like a trailer.
Yep.
And you started doing a little workout with her, and like, this is going to be a long one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
They they
mean,
they definitely needed a lot more than just 1 week long of shooting to get better, but you know what? Times were tough.
yeah. Well, one of the things that really caught my eye in the what I've read up on what OnlyFans is doing for the athletes in the niche sports, and obviously I trend towards volleyball, beach volleyball, indoor, but the influence because everyone knows OnlyFans as one particular uh, influence, but a term that kept coming out to me was SFW streaming platform, which is safe for work. And they want to go that direction to get more influence and get more people out there. But what are your thoughts on what OnlyFans is doing to get the sport out there and grow not only your brand, but the sport as a whole?
I love it. I mean, like other athletes, they're also becoming OnlyFans athletes, but I and sponsorships are pretty hard to come by within our sport just based on the lack of streaming and um honestly the lack of apparel that we even wear
Hmm.
on court and not getting really shoe sponsors. It's kind of down to like sunscreen, swimsuits,
Hmm.
sunglasses. I feel like those are the big three for sponsorship. So the fact that they came up to me and wanted to sponsor me, it was like a no-brainer. Um,
Yeah.
but I love that they're just giving us this whole side of showcasing ourselves while also showcasing our sport that's not really recognized anywhere else and
Hmm.
also giving some people to root for. Like now I have a lot of fans that support me as a
Hmm.
player and want to come to my games and support my career. So that's been really cool, just having this group of people that back me, um,
Hmm.
while also converting people into becoming volleyball fans. So it's kind of like this two-way street where I'm getting people that support me and building a fan
Hmm.
base while also building a bigger fan base for the sport with
Yeah.
OnlyFans by creating this kind of like vloggy YouTube style content and making it more of a
Hmm.
lifestyle because it is a lifestyle sport at the end of the day. I think it's pretty unserious in a sense, while it's also a professional sport, but
Hmm.
I think we're pretty lucky to just be able to go out to the beach and practice on the beach and then come home and have a breakfast. But I do think it is more of a lifestyle and building that fan base to support the sport is really cool.
Well, I could totally see your fan base growing exponentially because even just looking in, and forgive me, I only have the boys stats available, but the National High School Sports Federation, the last 10 years, boys volleyball has grown 75% versus the next closest was at 12%. And it's even more so on the women's side because of what we're seeing at the women's national championship year after year. And and with that, beach is exponentially growing as well. You know, look at what happened at Gulf Shores just a few weeks ago. And part of that is something that you help establish as a collegiate athlete and what you're doing on the AVP tour and traveling as well. So, you
Yeah,
know,
really
it just
cool.
happened to be lovely, but very athletic as well. So, getting a little bit of both ain't a bad thing, doing what you're doing. But
Yeah.
let me ask you this, Avery. As far as content that has been most successful for you, what is working best for you on OnlyFans?
Honestly, it's all of the OFTV footage that I'm putting out.
Hmm.
So it's all the videos that I'm filming that is being posted to OFTV is funneling people to my OnlyFans account, which is pretty awesome. So it's kind of
Hmm.
like the day-to-day stuff that I'm filming, and also the practice clips. I'll just kind of share like I just have
Hmm.
to make sure I have my phone on me all the time and make sure I'm like filming all my practices, but practice footage, drills,
Hmm.
like gym stuff, like all of my
Uh,
gym routine, um, kind of just everything in between that makes me like a real person that people can actually follow along with.
got to have a segment that's called Affirmations with Avery. You make it
That,
personal.
yeah, make it personal.
Um, so with that, you're getting the followers to really, jump on your OnlyFans, but what are the benefits not only for you, but for other athletes versus other platforms by using OnlyFans in terms of like fan engagement, monetization, safety, and mental well-being? There it seems like there's a lot that's being covered there, but how is it different from like those other platforms?
Like in terms of, I don't
Like
know if I,
what you're putting content wise, like how does it benefit you to use the OnlyFans platform, particularly versus, let's say, Instagram or um, TikTok or any of the other ones?
I think it's just offering a more personal experience with my fans. Instead,
Hmm.
Instagram is kind of like a highlight reel. TikTok is just,
Hmm.
I don't even know how to use TikTok to be honest, and I really should figure it out because is that is just a huge beast at this point in time. But
Hmm.
I think it just allows me to be more personal with my fans and just communicate with them one on one. Snapchat's great, but it's also just again kind of like a highlight reel and like
Hmm.
what you want to see versus like everything in between, the good, the bad, the ugly. So I
Hmm.
think OnlyFans is definitely that gateway into opening up and being a little bit more personal versus like
Yeah,
this posed, staged version of myself.
right, right. Well, final of two questions here. Um, how would you get people to come watch it? What's your tagline? Why should they come watch the perfect set on OFTV with you and Alaina, Falyn, and Hagen?
Oh my gosh, everyone should watch it because I mean, if you like reality TV, there's a lot of drama and it's
Hmm.
also volleyball. So it's kind of like this competitive game survivor type of show where
Hmm.
everyone's fighting to stay in the show. Um, and then you get us and we're awesome. But yeah, a lot of drama within the athletes or within the contestants and drama within the coaches because we all want to win. We want our teams to win. So
Hmm.
there's some drama.
Yep. And finally, of course, I've got to ask this. What's next? What's coming up for this summer for Avery?
Oh, this summer, I want to have my European summer and play a few FIVBs overseas.
Hmm.
So I'm signed up for the Turkey Challenge event. I'm
Okay.
signed up for the Greece Futures event, and
Hmm.
I'll be playing as many AVPs as I possibly can. I'll do Denver and Virginia Beach.
Hmm.
Um, Manhattan Beach, obviously,
Hmm.
I got to do that one, and Hermosa Beach Open. But I definitely want to do more on the world tour,
Hmm.
and see where that goes. But got a whole lot in store.
Yeah, sounds incredible. But I wanted to be sure that our fans, our listeners and viewers, uh, could find out where they could follow and how to jump on your OnlyFans channel, or what's the best way to follow Avery Poppinga.
Yeah. So you can subscribe to my channel, which is just at Avery Poppinga. And I also have the link in my Instagram bio. So my Instagram's at Avery Poppinga. But that Avery Poppinga, everything. Yep.
I'll be sure to drop it on my social as well so you can get over Avery's way because I can personally attest to her being one of the sweetest people I've ever met in the NCAA game. And it's just been such a delight to follow your career and where you're going and then find out who you are, kind of going backwards, but also applying that to who the person you are and seeing you develop and now jump on the stage with OnlyFans TV and now the show and hopefully future successes on the AVP and the Pro Beach Tour.
Yes, thank you so much. It's so sweet. You can hype me up any day.
Oh, I'm your hype man. Avery, I appreciate your time here this afternoon. I look forward to jumping on to OnlyFans TV and seeing who wins out. I get this feeling that Hagen may have been silenced, but I don't want to, put any seeds in there. And Alaina, I think you know
You'll
this.
have to see. Episode 2 drops tomorrow, May 21st. So I don't know when this
Okay.
is coming out, but May 21st, that's when me and Alaina have our moment. Hagen and Falyn had their moment episode 1, and now it's me and her.
Well, I want to see a honey badger moment too. I think you know who I'm referring to, right?
Yeah.
Because we'll just say their parents refer to them as a honey badger because they're so mean. I'm like, her? And it's not Avery because you're the butterflies and
I try. I try.
all right, Avery, again, thank you for your time here this afternoon. I look forward to seeing you here in the upcoming days, if not weeks, watching your content and supporting you as you
Yeah,
go through
thank
this
you.
journey of promoting volleyball.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the Viral Volley Podcast. Be sure to follow Rob on Instagram at the Rob on the Mic or on Twitter at Rob on the Mic.